All right, and I know you got to go. Final prediction, go for it.
Oregon 31, Utah 20. I think a late field goal that is definitely not more than like 32 yards, based on what we've seen, kind of gives Oregon that 2 possession margin. I think it's a really close game throughout, and Oregon just kind of pulls away. But I just think the Oregon defense is going to come up and have a big game against Bryson Barnes and that Utes offense.
Okay, dude. Awesome. Hey, Spencer, Susie, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on,
anytime.
dude. Have a good night. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah. All right. See you, everybody. Go Ducks.
All right, guys. That was Spencer McLaughlin. Awesome to have him on. Make sure you guys smash that like button, comment in the chat, follow along, guys, with any of the questions, and make sure you guys go subscribe to Spencer. His channel is awesome. Seriously, you guys probably realized in this conversation that he really is an awesome follow and an awesome guy to talk football with. A lot of the time when you have guests on for a live show, you wind up having to do a lot of talking and try to like keep it going. My favorite thing about having that guy on is that is not the case, dude. He will just go, go, go. And I love it. With that, though, I'll tell you guys about my concerns or the players I'm most concerned about for Oregon. Obviously, Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a guy that really, like I mentioned earlier in the show, they have feasted on the weak a little bit. They have ridiculous numbers. So they're definitely a good offense. They're definitely a really good team. But you got to wonder. I mean, don't forget, Bo Nix only put up 20 points with that offense. He was injured last year, but I thought he looked pretty damn good. Like, he didn't have the legs he usually has, but throwing the ball, he looked pretty damn good when Utah played them last year and just barely got it done. And don't forget that second half they were not moving the ball at all. It was like once we adjusted. And this time we're getting them at home where our defense, dude, if for Oregon fans, if this is your first time at Rice-Eccles, get ready for a freaking treat. You might not like the treat you get. It might be a trick more than a treat, but get ready for a wild ride, dude. This Utah defense, when they're at home and they're at Rice-Eccles, things get freaking wild, dude. Go watch that Florida game. That's like a lot of where the passing yards come from against Utah's defense. Almost all those passing yards were little dink and dunk, and they weren't quite garbage time, but we had like a 10, 14-point lead, fourth quarter. We don't mind them draining the clock, right? That's kind of what happened there. So I would tell you with Bo Nix, I think he's a big X factor. We need to limit his big plays. Don't let him get to a lot of short third downs, right? Super critical factors. And then more than a player, I think for Oregon, I worry about the running back room. It's a really good group of running backs for Oregon, and they definitely have me concerned, especially with Lander Barton being out. I would feel some faith, though, in our run defense. We have one of the best run defenses in the country. Seriously, if you guys don't know, Utah is a tough team to run the ball against, like exceptionally tough. We're the number 6 team in the country at rushing yards allowed per game. And when it comes to rushing yards per carry allowed, let me pull that up. Rushing yards per carry, we are where is it? Ninth in the country at 2.9 yards per carry allowed. So I think this Oregon rushing attack is going to be brought down to earth a little bit. And I wouldn't say you want to make it like, hey, Bo Nix beat us, but it's like he won't have an exceptional running attack, in my opinion, that he usually has to lean on. I'm not saying they're not going to break off some runs and they're not going to, break. I'm guessing they're breaking 100 yards, probably 115, 120 yards, my guess. But it's going to be a tough, gritty game. My final prediction, I think the Utah defense is stepping up at home. They're making plays. This offense has come alive for Utah in the past couple weeks. Seriously, guys, I think a lot of people just thought Utah's defense was no longer, or Utah's offense was no longer alive over the past couple weeks, and they weren't really watching what was happening. Go watch the USC game. Go watch the Cal game. Don't forget, guys, Cal had a pretty good rushing defense heading into that game. It was a top 40 rushing defense. And so I'm just telling you guys, Utah's offense, I'd be shocked if Oregon shuts down our offense. I think it's it's going to be a tight game. There's going to be a contest, and I feel like Utah thrives in tight games. The big thing for me is anytime I guess that we're going to win by 10 points, we lose. It's really odd. And I really don't see us winning by 10 points here, so that's probably a good sign. I'm gonna have Utah winning the game 34-31. Utah wins, big time defensive performance, lots of hurries, lots of QB hits from our defensive line, makes a great offensive line in Oregon look, less than against Utah. So that's what I'm thinking, guys. I hope you guys appreciated this. It was awesome having Spencer on. It was awesome getting to talk to you guys tonight. Please make sure you guys smash that like button. Comment down below. What are your predictions and why do you think it happens? If you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We put out a ton of Utah Utes football content, and make sure you guys stay along for the ride. And please share the video with a friend that you think would find it informational, or retweet it. I know a lot of you guys watch on Twitter, so hit that retweet button, or Twitter. And also, if you're on Facebook, share it to a Facebook page. Go Utes. Let's have a great night, guys. Go Utes.